Hey, this is Sully for antisocialnews.com, and it is 9/11/2017. It is late. I just finished my tradition of going out to Arlington Cemetery and saying the Mourner's Kaddish in Hebrew and in English, and then saying a little prayer of my own with my wife, where we just thank God for living in a land where we can work and find love, and we have free speech, and we thank God for all those who willingly sign their life away to protect all that. Never forget. Always be grateful. Stay humble. All right, now to move around the world and look at other life or death situations. We've got Togo shuts down internet access in the midst of protests. Now, I've talked about Togo before. Internet access has been severely restricted in Togo amidst protests. The current president, Faure Gnassingbé, he became president after the death of his father, Gnassingbé Ayadame, which, that's how democracies work, who ruled Togo for 38 years. Protesters want Gnassingbé to step down since being in power since 2005. So, yeah. It's a bit of a mess there. The internet access, that's crippling. All right. Bouncing around here, let's head over to our hemisphere. These poor indigenous people are being tormented, either just by Western world using drones to spy on them, or murdered by local miners. It's a truly terrible story. They've been spying on him for years, though. Now, there were guys who were admitting killing people who live in an uncontacted tribe. But there's not a clear resolution to this. Yeah, they really have no information if or when or where it happened. So it's this might be a non-story. Sad to say. It's a story that grabs you right by the heart and makes you go, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, people, these innocent people who don't hate the people we hate. They don't even know them. They're innocent. They're far away from everything, getting murdered by minors." And then you always keep in mind, allegedly. And in this case, the allegedly doesn't just mean, because, allegedly means if it's just me and my wife in a room, and then you come into the room after hearing a gunshot, and then I'm dead, my wife allegedly killed me. That's what is assumed. But in this case, if it's just people talking and there's no actual sign of any crime, might not be a thing. I sincerely hope it's not a thing, because this is a disgusting story. And I think the real question is not contacting this tribe the best thing ever? Or would contacting them to let them have safety and health supplies to prevent further mistreatment be a better way of going? Who knows? Who knows? These are ethical questions people are still fighting over and hanging out at the smartest universities and government agencies all around the world. Okay, moving on to the next story. Out of the Vanguard. No, not the American one. It's the Nigerian one. And they have quite the webpage here. No respite for doctors. Strike persists. This story instantly ticked me off because doctors shouldn't strike. It's kind of in their vow, their oath. Their oath that they keep. So, hopefully this will get settled. But, yeah, that's disturbing. I don't know. They need to get their crap together. Speaking of Nigeria needing to get their crap together, here is Good Luck Jonathan thinking that the Boko Haram was just some fun stuff up north that was meant to take down his presidency. So he was doing his darndest to ignore it. To ignore all that stuff up there. Jonathan didn't believe that Boko Haram was a serious issue. He thought that it was a device by the North to prevent him from continuing as president of Nigeria, which was rather unfortunate. Yeah. Boko Haram will not be over. It started from a position of gross unemployment, youth frustration in the Northeast, so we must be treating the disease, not the symptom. Obasanjo submitted. So this Obasanjo guy, it sounds like he's trying to think it out. He's given a little more weight to this subject. All right, now here's an interesting story, kind of reminiscent of the whole Philippine army bumping into a separate little militia fighting them, while the Philippine army is trying to fight ISIS. So I don't know what the Nigerian army is doing, driving down this road, but the road goes past somebody's area, which apparently it's the Biafri people. So the indigenous people of Biafra. So I don't know if that's like kind of a sovereign citizen type deal. But they stood up to the police, not letting them go through, and yeah, it got ugly pretty quick. 3 people were shot dead. And I think the most interesting part about this is why they were cutting down unconventional roads, and this situation came out anyway, was they were doing something called Operation Python Dance 2, which is apparently a large multi-layer plan to mobilize the military in training. So It's obviously it's scaring people. It's getting people shot, which isn't what tests and stuff like that. It's not what those are supposed to do. So thank you for watching, and thank you, Johnson. Thank you so much for these links that you gave me. You see, I'm checking them out. You see what my show is about. It's about real news where people are fighting for their lives or dying all around the world, because human life is the only most precious thing that we have. And now let's go to Manila Times, where I always like to go. Oh, manilatimes.net, 503 temporary out of service. Let's put them in our thoughts and prayers. Moment of silence for Manila Times. Now I'm going to call this a show. Everybody be safe out there, and never forget the sacrifice that others have made for us to have a free society. Back to your taps.